All right, Pesach Shalom.
Pesach Shalom.
All right, so we're going to do the quick readings for the first day of Pesach, which is going to be starting with Exodus chapter 12, which jumps right into the exit from Egypt, okay? Ariashan is going to start off reading verses 1 through 12. Just a quick overview. The children of Israel went down into Egypt with our father Jacob, and we multiplied and became a nation in the land of Egypt, right? On the southern part of the African continent, the Mediterranean coast of the African continent, and we came from the eastern part of the African continent, which is Israel is Northeast Africa. It's part of the African tectonic plate. Especially the western part of Israel that we're concerned about, which was the land of Canaan, where Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob were, and Joseph was too, before he went down into Egypt. So Egypt, Africa, and Egypt and Israel all share the same geological landmass. Okay? So Israel is part of Northeast Africa, and Egypt is part of Northeast Africa. When I say Africa, I'm talking about the continent, not any particular ethnic group, because you'll find three general ethnic groups in most of Africa, before in Africa in general. You'll find Hamites, and then you'll find Shemites, Israelites, and then Shemites, Arabs. And you find Edomites also, white people, which are also Shemites in southern Africa, in South Africa specifically, and other countries throughout Africa. They had colonies and set up. So we went into Africa, and we went into Egypt rather, and we were there for approximately 215 years. But from Canaan, Abraham, until we came out of Egypt with a total of 430 years. So when those 430 years expired, the God of Israel, Yahweh, he wanted to bring us out so we can go into our own land, and he could fulfill his part of the bargain, which he promised our fathers to give us our own homeland. In doing so, there was some things that needed to be done. We needed to be brought out of slavery. We were enslaved to an African nation, Mitzrayim or Matazayim, which are the Egyptians. We were in slavery to them, so we had to get out of that slavery. So Yahweh brought 10 plagues, 10 levels of destruction, discomfort, and death upon the Egyptians. Okay, so that's where we are now. We're at that destruction that was supposed to be brought upon the Egyptians is where we are with our liberator, Moses. Moses, which was of the tribe of Levi, which would be considered to be the Haitians today, brought us out of Egypt with his brother Aaron, and the Levites again are Haitians, the Limba people in southern, eastern Africa, the Limba people in Malawi, most of them are concentrated in Zimbabwe right now, all right? Northeastern South Africa and in southern Zimbabwe. So Yahweh brought us out of Egypt in slavery under the leadership of those Levite leaders, okay? So we came out of Egypt, and Yahweh is commanding us to commemorate this season that we came out of Egypt, when he delivered us from slavery. So Passover is a statement, celebration of our liberation from slavery. And I'm sure all of us as so-called black people, Latino, Native American people can appreciate our ancestors' feeling of celebrating them coming out of slavery, them coming out of being in bondage, being told what to do, being beat, being whipped, being raped, robbed, and murdered over a long time frame. And the same thing has happened to us now. So we await Yahweh's raising up of King David and the spiritual awakening of our people throughout the diaspora across all continents so we can come out of slavery and captivity again. And now Hamashiach, the Messiah, as prophesied in the books of Psalms and Isaiah, Jeremiah, Proverbs, several books of the Bible prophesied what he was going to do. He fulfilled his task as our sacrifice to give us a spiritual pathway back to Yahweh, but he did not open that physical pathway back to the land of Israel because we still had to go under the national consequences, as we see in the book of Daniel chapter 9. We still had to go under national consequences for our disobedience and rebellion against him. And he warned us that we were going to go into captivity and slavery, and we did so in the time of Jeremiah, Daniel, in the time of Ezekiel, and he brought us out of captivity, brought us back into the land of Egypt. But the last time he brought us out under the Romans, we went in captivity and exile, and we have not had possession and control of our borders of ancient Israel since 70 AD. But he promised us that he's going to bring us back into our own land again. So we await that return. The people that came from Europe back into the land of Israel is not the fulfillment of the prophecy. If we look in Ezekiel chapter 35 and 36, historically, and if we look into the book of Jeremiah chapter 30, Jeremiah chapter 50, historically, we'll see that all of the prerequisites of the return of the children of Israel back into the land of Israel have not been fulfilled. As well as if we look at the book of Ezekiel chapter 20, which says that the children of Israel are going to go into the wilderness again before they go back into the land of Israel, and that Yahweh is going to be the one to bring them back, not a UN mandate by a secular government, but supernatural means other than natural and other than physical forces working. And Yahweh says, with a strong arm and with fury poured out, will I bring you out of your captivity back into the land of Israel. But this is the recording of the first Exodus, and we await our second Exodus that we read about in Jeremiah chapter 23 and Jeremiah chapter 3, when it says, it shall no more be said that Yahweh lives, which brought up the children of Israel from the land of Egypt, but Yahweh lives, which brought up and which led the seed of the house of Israel and the house of Judah, Judah from the land of what? The land of the north. The land of the north, which of course is talking about North America. So he's going to deliver us again from North America and from all the lands where he scattered us. And again, I've given you all of the chapters. I've even given you maybe some verses also, mostly chapters. Read those chapters, go back and review, rewind, read those chapters, and educate yourself. Don't take my word for it. This is a big mystery. This is a big mystery among so-called black people. They don't understand and don't know that they will be liberated from their bondage, captivity, and exile in North America. Not by the political system, but by the power of Yahweh. And with that preface, we'll go ahead and start the reading of Exodus chapter 12. And then what I'm going to do is just give some midrash or commentary as we read. All right, so this is Ariasha'an, our noble reader to initiate this event, and we'll start the reading now.
Exodus chapter 12, verse 1. Then Yahweh spoke to Moshe and Aharon in the land of Egypt, saying, this month shall be for you the beginning of months. It is first for you among the months of the year.
It is first for you among the months of the year, which means the month of Abib, which is the month of the springtime. So that month, the month that we're in now, is the first month of the year for us. Now, if you don't serve the God of Israel, if you don't believe in the Bible, all right, you can do whatever you want to do. But those that believe in the Bible, those that want to plant, those that want to do agriculture, they must recognize this as the beginning of the year. So before this time period ends, we should have our last frost, agriculturally speaking, especially in the land of Israel, the last frost. So the month of Abib in the springtime is the last month of the year. I'm sorry, it's the first month of the year, and the preceding month is the last month of the year. So we're in the first month of the year right now. What you would call so-called January 1st is not the new year. What you would call March/April is the first month of the year. The month is based upon the moon. Month actually means a division of the moon. Etymologically, if you look it up, month and moon are in the same, share the same root, which is based, month is coming from the word for moon. All right, go ahead.
Speak to the whole congregation of the sons of Yasharallah, saying, on the 10th of this month, let them take each person a sheep according to the paternal houses, a sheep for each household. But if those in the household are too few, so that they are not enough for a sheep, he shall join himself with his nearby neighbor according to the number of souls.
So they took the sheep and they said, for this amount of meat, we're going to have this amount of people that we can feed. So that's what's going on, because it's going to be a sacrifice and it's going to be a feast. Go ahead.
Each one shall number together that which is sufficient for a sheep.
Right.
You shall have a perfect sheep, a 1-year-old male.
Perfect sheep meaning it doesn't have any blemishes, it doesn't have an eye missing, it doesn't have half of an ear, it doesn't have a limp. That's what it means by perfect. Perfect doesn't mean its coat is a nice color. Or perfect doesn't mean it looks like it just dropped out the sky from heaven. It's a heavenly sheep. Perfect meaning it has no physical defects or blemishes in its physiology, in its actual bone structure and cartilage and things like that. Go ahead.
You shall take from the lambs and kids, and it shall be kept for you until the 14th of this month. And all the multitude of the congregation of the sons of Yasharallah slay it towards evening.
So from the 10th day, you went and got it, and you brought it into your structure, your house. All right. Now, I want to be very clear. These are the prescriptions for when we were offering up blood sacrifices in the land of Israel at the temple. This is not you in America imitating the sacrificial process in the land of Israel or in the land of Egypt in this case. Go ahead.
And they shall take some of the blood and shall put it on the 2 doorposts and on the lintel in the houses whichever they eat them in. And they shall eat the meat this night, roasted in fire, and they shall eat unleavened bread with bitter herbs.
So they would take the blood and put it on the top, the left, and the right side of the door frame. And this was for a specific purpose. Because Yahweh sent death into all the houses that didn't have that blood. So this blood was on your door frame, so you were covered with the blood of the lamb. And this is where we get the language that we see or that we hear about being covered by the blood, which is a reference to my sins and the death that would come upon me is not going to come upon me because of the propitiation, because of the blood sacrifice that was made by Hamashiach for the sins of Israel, as we see already prophesied in the book of Isaiah chapter 53. It says it. Now, if somebody says it doesn't mean a man, it means a nation, either way, it still says it. So somebody can contradict who did it, but they cannot contradict or discount or dismiss that concept that somebody is dying for somebody's sin. Read.
You shall not eat from it raw or boiled in water, but rather roasted in fire.
Now, this Passover lamb was supposed to be eaten boiled, raw. Was supposed to be eaten raw lamb, cooked, roasted with fire, without being boiled in any water. This is what it says in Egypt. I want to make it clear that when we left Egypt, when we were going into the land of Israel, Moses gave us a commandment to now boil the lamb, boil it, roast it, and eat it. When we go into Deuteronomy chapter 16. So this mitzvot right here is specifically for the condition that we're in, about to leave Egypt. Don't boil it, just put the fire to it. All right, go ahead. Now, I want to also say toward the evening. It said toward the evening, right?
Not yet.
Yeah, it did. You read it already.
You shall eat the meat this night.
No, it says you shall take it, you shall cook it, sacrifice it. All right. What verse is that?
Verse 6.
Read that part. That's one section again.
And all the multitude of the congregation of the sons of Yasharallah shall
Just a section.
shall
Right.
slay it towards evening.
Slay it toward evening, which means toward the going down of the sun, but not exactly going down the sun, going down. In the Hebrew it says Bein ha Cherevyam or Bayan ha Arabium or Irabium, between the evenings, which means before the sun goes down, you go ahead and do that cooking. Go ahead.
You shall not eat from it raw.
Call your verse.
Exodus chapter 12, verse 9.
All right, we're back at verse 9 again. Go ahead.
You shall not eat from it raw or boiled in water, but rather roasted in fire, head with the feet and their organs.
All right, head, feet, and the organ. All right, so all the organs in the head roasted together. Go ahead.
You shall not leave any of it until morning, and you shall not break a bone of it. But
Okay.
that which remains of it until morning you shall burn with fire.
You burn the leftovers with fire. All right. Now, again, we want to understand that this is in the context of a sacrificial system. This is not in the context of you outside Jerusalem cooking a lamb during Passover. Not the same thing. Read.
Now, in the way you shall eat it, your loins girded, and your sandals on your feet, and your staves in your hand. And
Why do they eat it like that? You shall eat it what?
And you shall eat it with haste. It is Yahweh's Pascha.
So Yahweh's Pascha. So it's very likely that when the Israelites had originally used this word Passover, it's very likely that they didn't say Pesach, but that they said Pascha. And this is where we get the Spanish word Pascua. So it probably was pronounced Pascha as opposed to Pesach. You probably had an extra syllable after that CH, after that chet. So it's probably Pascha. That's how we probably pronounced it. So Moses said you eat it, Yahweh rather, you eat it with your staff in your hand, your sandals on, and you eat it quickly. Why? Because we were about to take this trip out of Egypt. But Yahweh wanted us to eat that lamb first. Go ahead.
And I will pass through in the land Egypt
I will pass through the land Egypt. Go ahead.
on this night.
On this night, go ahead, which is the 15th of Abib. Go ahead.
And I will strike down every firstborn in the
I will
land.
kill every firstborn. Go ahead.
In the land Egypt.
Every firstborn male in the land of Egypt. So Yahweh committed mass killing in the land of Egypt. Every firstborn died. All right. So I want to say something also that, and this may sound very callous, but when it comes to Yahweh executing his judgment, and I'll say it very diplomatically so I won't hurt your feelings. Yahweh does not always take your feelings into consideration to determine the outcome of his decision and judgment. Does everybody understand that?
Con.
Because if that was the case, the sharks would be picking algae and bringing them to you so that you could have some algae and some sea moss and some kelp. The shark would be picking, you wouldn't be eating it. Nobody would be eating nothing. Because do you think that the dandelions and the bitter herbs don't studies show that plants can interact and have feelings like humans? That they react to music and they react to frequencies and how you talk to plants? Don't studies actually show that? So do you think the poor little plant wants you to eat it? But you just rip your beautiful so-called herbivore teeth into it without regard of the plant's feelings, right?
Okay.
But when it comes to a widow sheep, now you care about the widow sheep, right? But you don't care about that plant. You don't care about that apple. You sink your big teeth into that apple. You don't care how that apple tree feels about you plucking its fruit off of it, do you? Do you care?
No.
But the plant, the trees can feel too. The plants can feel too. So you don't take that plant's feelings into consideration. Now you may say you're not going to waste it, or you're going to use it to put it back into the system to recycle it, the ones that are on the ground, in a real ecosystem. So Yahweh's not saying, well, I'm not going to kill these Egyptians. He made the Egyptians, he can do what he wants to do. Yahweh is not Yahweh is not your subordinate. We're under him. He does what he wants to do. He makes life. He creates life. He makes light. All right. He creates sky. He creates dirt. All right. Darkness was created by him. So Yahweh does what he wants to do. With or without your approval, and you will answer to him for how you responded to what he did. And what you did regarding what he said to do and not to do. Read, quote a verse.
Exodus chapter 12, verse 12.
All right, so he killed the firstborn, go ahead.
From human being to animal.
So when we see that word human being, that means from man. So we're going to say man to animal. All right, so all the little, so you want him to kill, so the firstborn mosquitoes, he killed them. Firstborn roaches, he killed them. The firstborn sheep of the Egyptians, he killed them. Firstborn humans, see now you want to draw the line, but see how hypocritical you are? It's okay he killed the mosquitoes, right? It's okay he killed the firstborn flies, right? It's okay that he killed the firstborn bed bugs, right? It's okay that he killed the firstborn gnats and the bees that fly in your food, right? But now we talk about the humans. Now you have a heart. Now you want to have a heart. It's okay that he killed the firstborn rats that go into your house and eat your food. You want to kill them yourself. But now the humans, you're special, right? You don't kill the firstborn humans. No. You know why? Yahweh gave them warning. And he said, if you do this, this is the outcome. Everybody's going to suffer. Everybody's going to suffer. Because I need to cut off your right of inheritance now. All right, go ahead.
And on all the gods of the Egyptians, I will execute vengeance. I am Yahweh.
Okay, so now, real quick, when we talk about all of the gods of Egypt, Yahweh's going to execute vengeance. What does that mean? That means that every curse that Yahweh brought upon the Egyptians was indicative of a particular god that the Egyptians worshiped. All right? Whether it was the water, the frogs, the lice and gnats, the wild animals or insects, the pestilence, the boils, the thunderstorm, okay, the locust, the darkness, and the death of the firstborn. All of these plagues were reflective of something that the Egyptians worship, which means what? No other system of worship has the authority to come against the system of worship given to us by Yahweh. And ultimately, Yahweh destroyed these gods and what they represented. Because when he put the plagues on the Egyptians, they had no power. Them gods couldn't do nothing. All right, go ahead.
Verse 13.
Mm-hmm.
And the blood shall be for you as a sign on the houses and where you are,
Mm-hmm.
and I will see the blood, and I will protect you. And there shall not be a plague among you to destroy whenever I strike in the land of Egypt. And this day shall be a memorial for you. And you shall celebrate it as a feast to Yahweh throughout your generations.
See now, you see that? The day is a memorial as a feast. The day itself is a memorial and a feast. But everything that we did the first time, we didn't do it every other time. We didn't offer up sacrifices once we left Israel, once we left Jerusalem. But we still what? We still celebrate the day as a memorial. A memorial, go ahead.
You shall celebrate it as a perpetual precept.
As a perpetual precept, which means for good. Go back to that second part. A memorial to you, celebrated as a feast to Yahweh. Throughout what?
Throughout your generations.
Are you alive? If you're not alive, please raise your hand. If you're not alive, raise your hand, please. Okay, so that means that the generations are still here. And if the generations are still here, that means you're supposed to be still keeping the day as a what? Memorial, as something to remember. You don't keep it every time, every day as a sacrifice. But in Israel, outside of Israel, we still keep it as a memorial. But it's not kept as a sacrifice anywhere besides Jerusalem. Read.
For 7 days you shall eat unleavened bread.
I'm sorry, let's go back. A what? Celebrated as a what? Perpetual precept. That means a perpetual law. Now, if something is perpetual, when does it stop?
It doesn't.
It doesn't stop. So read that part again. A what kind of statute?
A perpetual precept.
2025,
Perpetual precept.
2024.
Perpetual precept.
What about the year 7000?
Perpetual precept.
What about the year 1865?
Perpetual precept.
What about the year 1965?
Perpetual precept.
What about a very important year on the calendar for the history of mankind, March 25th, 1973?
Perpetual precept.
Perpetual precept. When does perpetual end?
Never.
Does it mean when Christ comes, when the Savior comes, when the prophecies from about the seed of the woman bruising the heel of the serpent comes to pass, now you don't got to keep it no more?
No.
No. It's still a perpetual statute for who? Throughout who?
Your generation.
Your generations. Perpetual. Your generations. That's what Scripture says. So that means right now. So no matter what you believe in Old Testament, New Testament, you believe in Christ, don't believe in Christ, doesn't matter. It's still a perpetual statute, perpetual precept throughout your generations. So when your grandmother read this and your grandfather read this, you are their generations. When your children read it, it's their generations. And when you read it now, these generations pertain to us. Con? So you keep this forever. There's no reason for any Israelite, any person that went through slavery captivity. And let's suppose the black people in America are not Israelites. Let's imagine, let's pretend that they're not. Well, you have a whole system of biblical theological system that's built upon the liberation of a people connected with slavery being celebrated in the Bible. Now, why would you choose that? Why wouldn't you choose that? Why would you say, you know what, Kwanzaa sounds better? Now, the principles in Kwanzaa are definitely good principles. The 7 principles of Kwanzaa are good principles, and those are principles reflected in the Bible. But if the Bible already tells you these people are going to come out of slavery, get liberated, why wouldn't you say, you know what, these are people, brown people that went into Africa, they came out of Africa from slavery, you know what, let's celebrate this. It's already there. It was there before we even existed. You don't got to create something new. Go ahead.
Verse 15.
Verse 15.
For 7
For
days
7 days
you shall eat.
you shall
bread.
eat unleavened bread. That means bread with no yeast in it. Read.
But from the first day
From the first day, go ahead.
you shall remove leaven from your houses.
From the first day, you make sure the leaven is gone from your houses. Go ahead.
Everyone, whoever eats leaven,
Anybody that eats leaven, leaven is the thing that causes bread to rise, aka yeast. Read.
that soul shall be destroyed.
That soul is going to get destroyed. Your soul is going to get destroyed if you eat yeast. Do you take this lightly? Do you take this as a fantasy? Do you think that the people that lived before you are now just, oh yeah, I did what I wanted to do. We just exist. Or let's go back and talk to them. Let me tell you something real quick. Everybody talks about the ancestors doing this, the ancestors doing that. First of all, the ancestors, with all due respect, are deceased and buried. They are not actively engaging us. If they were, the same ancestors that you say are coming back now would have never allowed us to go on a transatlantic slavery, would have never allowed us to be put onto reservations, would have never allowed the Spanish to step foot into Puerto Rico, into Borinquen, into Quisqueya, into Malio Uhana. They would have never stepped foot if the ancestors were protecting them. How do we get in this predicament we're in now of the white people's ancestors allowing them to constantly rape, rob, murder, and invade us? Anybody got an answer for that? Let's suppose the ancestors are real. Well, whose ancestors are more powerful? Trump's ancestors or the combined forces of the African, of the Hindu, and the European ancestors of Kamala Harris? Whose ancestors are more powerful? The slave traders or the people that were getting traded as slaves? So we're not even going to imagine and pretend that this whole ancestor being real or the ancestor talking to you. No, they ain't. That's a lie. That's your imagination, or it's a demon. It ain't the ancestors talking to you. Because the ancestors would say, you know what? Come back to Africa. Come back and I'm going to show you who your ancestral lineage is. And we're going to pick up where we left off at. How come the ancestors telling you to go to America, get a job, all right, invest in this, invest in that? How come the ancestors, since the dawn of time, seeing all these cycles of human interaction, are not telling you what works and what ain't going to work and what's going to be the next thing that's going to become a financial advantage for the people?
Or telling you how to get out of slavery.
Or telling you how to get out of captivity and exile. Only Yahweh tells you that. Ain't no ancestors talking to nobody. Read that part again.
That soul shall be destroyed.
That soul shall be destroyed. That soul is not coming back telling you, hey, do this now. I'm the ancestors. No. Ain't no ancestors talking. It's spirits and demons, the people that are dealing with these rituals that's who's talking to them. Ain't no ancestors coming back talking to nobody. If his ancestors, ask him who's the God of all gods. All right? Like people just floating around that. Ooh, my ancestor, yeah, put this food out for me. I'm gonna come and eat it. I want you to do this dance for me. I want you to do this dance for me. I want you to pour out some water on the ground for me. It's like ant spirit. Nah, that's witchcraft.
Demons.
All right? That's what we got away from. That's what you read about in the scripture. The same thing. Not even calling it witchcraft on no mumbo jumbo hocus pocus type stuff, but it's incantation. Let me say it in a simple way because witchcraft sounds too broad. It's an incantation, it's a devotion, it's a sacrifice for you to appeal to spirits that were created by Yahweh to do evil, to give you a gateway into accessing spirits to do things for you without obeying Yahweh. But you will pay for trying to go around him. He'll let you go around him. He'll let you go around him. It's almost like if you come into a country, all right, and all these people are coming into America. They didn't get their paperwork right. Now they're going back to some place they don't want to be. So it caught up with them. All right. Now, if you go into, let's say you go into Mexico and your paperwork ain't right. Oh, they deported me back to America where I can get a good paying job and I can get loans for a house and I can build my credit. That's messed up. Oh, for real? No. You're like, okay, cool, no problem. But for Yahweh, you try to go around him and deal with spirits and think you're dealing with ancestors, you're gonna pay that price eventually. And you might even start paying it now with your children or your life. Go ahead.
That soul
Mm-hmm.
shall be destroyed from Yasharallah from the first day until the seventh day.
Okay.
And the first day shall be called holy, and the seventh day shall be designated holy for
What
you.
verse you in?
Verse 16.
So the first day is holy and the seventh day is a holy, which means that it's a day we don't do any work and you don't make yourself unclean. Go ahead.
No work of service shall be done on them,
Go ahead.
except what shall be done for every soul. This only shall be done for you.
Wait, say it again. What verse you in again?
Verse 16.
Verse 16 it says, except what shall be done for every soul, this only shall be done for you. I guess, regular stuff to eat and to observe the feast on the holy days. Go ahead.
And you shall keep this commandment.
You shall keep this commandment.
For on this
day, the 15th of Abib, go ahead.
I will bring your host out of the land of Egypt.
Yahweh brought us out of slavery from the land of Egypt. Now, Egypt means something like what? Like two rivers, right? Am I right? Now, where were our people first put in slavery at in the Americas? By what river?
Mississippi.
No. By what river? By the James River, which means the Jacob River. All right? And then slavery accumulated and stopped basically kind of like at what river? Mississippi River. Two rivers. What does Mississippi mean? It means the grandfather river. All right? The grandfather river. And if you are a son of Israel, you're not Judah or Gad or Jacob. You're the sons of these men, technically. So Jacob is what? Your grandfather. So we were put into captivity between the land that we'll call Jacob grandfather or grandfather Jacob. That's where our captivity was at. Between the James River, where we first came, and then we were put into all the way over to the Mississippi. And that's why you got Israelite communities. The first black town in the Americas, incorporated in the American system, not a city or town incorporated, not just a settlement, was in Mississippi. All right? So we went over all those territories in the land of the two rivers, and also in Egypt, the two rivers. They got the White Nile and they got the Blue Nile. All right, and from that we were in slavery from there all the way over to what? To the Tigris and Euphrates rivers. And between that is kind of like our domain and territory. And between the Mississippi and James River, that's where most of our people are living at right now. 56% of so-called black people in the Americas live between the James River, live between Maryland and the Gulf Coast and the Eastern Seaboard, going all the way over to Mississippi, going into Louisiana somewhat, and then into Texas a little bit too. Same thing with so-called Latino population. That's where most of our people are at. The major cities that are major Latinos is going to be like a Houston area. When you go into San Antonio, when you go into a Dallas area. Maybe not Dallas too tough, but Houston definitely. All right, go ahead, finish reading.
And you shall keep this commandment.
Keep this commandment, go ahead.
For on this day
On this day,
I will bring your host out of the land of Egypt.
he's going to bring us out the land of Egypt.
And you shall make this day throughout your generations.
So we shall do, observe, and we shall deliberately make this particular day, the 15th of Abib, the day that we're in right now, go ahead.
A perpetual.
A what?
Perpetual.
A temporary.
Perpetual.
A time-based.
Perpetual.
Perpetual means irrespective of time and or space. A perpetual what?
precept.
A perpetual commandment, precept. Always observe it and keep it. All you black people in America, whether you call yourself ADOS or whether you call yourself FBA, you're supposed to be observing the day of the Feast of Unleavened Bread, period. You above all people know that our ancestors identified themselves as Israelites in their songs. All the songs about freedom, all the songs about the chariot swinging low, all the songs about Moses in the land of Egypt, all the songs about swing low, sweet chariot, all the songs about the Jordan River, roll, Jordan roll, all the songs about Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. All these songs were made based on our knowledge of the Bible and looking at the Bible for our hope and expectation of liberation. All right? That's why we say, oh, we got a jubilee. These concepts were in our spirit, not just in the book. Read.
When the first month begins,
When the first month begins, go ahead.
on the 14th day,
On the 14th day, go ahead.
from the evening,
From the evening, go
you
ahead.
shall eat unleavened bread.
You shall eat unleavened bread. The 14th day, when the evening begins on the 14th day, going into the 15th day. Go ahead.
Until the 21st day
Until the 21st day, go ahead.
of the month,
Uh-huh.
until the evening.
That's how you know it's talking about the 15th day, because the 21st day of the month at even is going into what? The 22nd day. All right, go ahead.
For 7 days,
For 7 days,
leaven shall
leaven, yeast,
shall not be found in your houses.
go ahead.
Everyone, whoever eats something leavened,
Anybody that eats something that's leavened, go ahead.
that soul
That soul, go ahead,
shall be destroyed
shall be destroyed, go ahead.
from the congregation of
From
Yasharallah,
the congregation of Yasha'Allah, go ahead.
both among the Gioras
The Gioras, go ahead.
and the natives.
The Giora are the ones that are, what? The Gioras are like the Goyim, the strangers that are among us. Like the Gioras, that's like what Moses named his son, Gershom. He named his son Gershom because he was a resident alien in another land. All right, so all of the people that are in our land, they want to eat this food that has leaven in it. The Most High say, no, a judgment is going to come upon you. Read.
And the natives of the land.
And the natives of the land, go ahead.
Anything leavened,
Anything leavened,
you shall not eat.
you shall not eat anything leavened with yeast. Read.
In every habitation,
Every habitation, every camp, every house, every barn, anything that's habitated, go ahead,
of yours,
of yours, go ahead.
you shall eat unleavened bread.
You shall eat unleavened bread. That special bread is made without yeast. All right. All right, Amaya, verse 21 through 40. All right, thank you, Ariyashan, for such beautiful reading. Amaria, verse 21 through verse 39. Let's hear that beautiful, melodious Barry White voice of yours. Let's hear the music to our ears. Go ahead.
Then Moses summoned the entire elders' council.
Moses called the elders' council. So don't have a problem with elders. Most of our people now don't respect, honor, or recognize any type of elders' council amongst our people. Now, you got the real Masharat Yasha'Allah trying to bring all the elders of Israel together under the Torah, and then you got the bootleg Ha Masharat Yasha'Allah trying to steal this name that's with the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office, trying to bring Israel together to have a barbecue and listen to them read a few words and send you out some a couple of cans of beans every once in a while when you need some. But other than that, there's no real Elders Council of Israel that we have across the board amongst the 12 tribes. And this is what it's being referred to. All 12 tribes was the Elders Council. Where's our Elders Council today? Elders meaning these are people that are seasoned and experienced in life. Council meaning they get together, talk about and discuss things that pertain to us as a people. Where do we have that now? It's every man for himself. That's what the word Senate means. Senate means older man, like senior. Read.
And said to them,
He said to the elders, go ahead.
when you go away,
When you go away,
take for yourselves a sheep according to your families, and sacrifice the Pascha,
Take for yourself a sheep that's big enough for your families and sacrifice the Passover lamb. Read.
and you shall take a bunch of hyssop,
Take a bunch of hyssop, which is a specific kind of a branch from a hyssop, like a bush. Go ahead.
and dipping from the blood by the door,
Take the hyssop, put it in the blood. Go ahead.
you shall also touch the lintel
Touch the lintel. That means the frame. Go ahead.
on both doorposts.
The lintel is the top part, and then the doorpost on the left and the right. Go ahead.
From the blood that is by the door.
Go ahead.
But you, each one, shall not go out by the door of his house until morning.
You see that? So they stayed in the house all night. They didn't go out. They didn't have a convocation. They said we got to stay in our house all night. Why? Because Yahweh didn't want them seeing that death that was going to be flowing through the land. People that didn't listen dropping dead like flies. If you were outside, dropping dead. Read.
And Yahweh will pass by to strike the Egyptians,
Go ahead.
and he will see the blood upon the lintel and on both doorposts, and Yahweh will pass by the door.
Meaning Yahweh will not kill you if you're inside that house behind the blood. Go ahead.
And he will not allow the destroyer to enter into your houses to
Go ahead.
strike.
All right, so that destroyer, all right, the best working relationship that we can have to the destroyer is that it was Hamashiach. It was Hamashiach. Read.
And you shall keep this word as a precept for yourselves,
Keep this word as a precept. Go ahead.
for yourself and your sons,
Yourself and your sons. Go ahead.
forever.
Forever. Go ahead.
Now when you come into the land,
When you come into the land,
whichever Yahweh gives you,
talking about the ancient land of Israel. Go ahead.
according as he said,
Uh-huh.
you shall observe this service.
Keep the service of the blood on your doorpost in the land of Israel. Read.
And it shall be, if your sons shall say to
If
you,
your sons say to you, now we still keep this questioning outside the land of Israel, but the son asks you what?
what is this service?
What is this service? Why are you doing this? Read.
Then you shall say to
You should say to them, this is why we're putting the blood on the lintel and on the doorpost.
this Pascha is a sacrifice to Yahweh.
This is a sacrifice to Yahweh, letting you know that when you're eating Passover in America, North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi, or San Cristobal de las Casas, Chiapas, or Cayo, San Ignacio, Belize, all right? Or Antigua, Guatemala, wherever you eating this at, outside Jerusalem, it ain't a sacrifice. Read.
Who protected the houses of the sons of Yashalam
But Yahweh protected the houses of the sons of Israel. Go ahead.
in Egypt,
Uh-huh.
when he struck the Egyptians.
When he struck the Egyptians,
But our houses he preserved,
he preserved the houses of the children of Israel. Read.
and the people bent down and did obeisance.
The people did down and did obeisance. That means they worshiped Yahweh. Read.
And when they went away,
When the people went away,
the sons of Israel did as Yahweh commanded
they
Moses.
went off and they followed the commandments, the instructions that they received from Moses. Read.
And Aaron.
And Aaron.
So they did. Now it happened during the middle of the night.
In the middle of the night, what's the middle of the night called? What do you call the middle of the night? Midnight. So about midnight, that's why Yahweh told them, hey, be ready to go. Lace your sandals up, have your loins girded. What does loins girded mean? Loins girded mean your garment's going to be lifted up, put inside of your girdle so you can walk fast. And your stick is in your hand, so you need to move something out the way or hit something or go over rough terrain. You'll have something to move with. Now, likely this staff that they had in their hands, since we were shepherds, this staff probably had a hook on the top of it to pull the sheep off or to hook something or to push something away. Go ahead.
That Yahweh struck every firstborn
He killed all the firstborn in the middle of the night. Go ahead.
in the land Egypt,
Mm-hmm.
from the firstborn of Pharaoh, who sits upon the throne, to the firstborn of the female captives.
So all the firstborn, the woman had her firstborn child, dead. Pharaoh's firstborn, dead. Now, the firstborn of the female captive is when she's giving that man's firstborn to him to continue his lineage. Read.
who is in the pit,
Even somebody in jail. Go ahead.
even to the firstborn of every animal.
Go ahead.
And Pharaoh arose
Pharaoh got up out of his bed, and what did he do?
during the night, and all his attendants, and all the Egyptians. And there was a great cry in all the land of Egypt, for there was not a house which had no dead person in it.
Everybody had dead people. Read.
And Pharaoh summoned Moses and Aaron,
Pharaoh called Moses back now after telling him, no, 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 no. Read.
during the night, and he said to them,
Uh-huh.
Arise and go out from
All rise and go out. So it went from no, 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 no. Then he said, yeah, 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 yeah. First he said, no, 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 no. Then he said, yeah, 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 yeah. Right? He said no. Now he's saying, yeah, go ahead out. Why? Because death gets people's attention. Death got his attention. In other words, deliberately, I'm going to say something real quick. I'm not going to argue with whether 6 million Jews died or did not die during the Holocaust. White people that say that they are Jews, whether they're converts or whether they are descendants that mixed amongst Gentiles, we're not even discussing that. Because that's not relevant to the next point about is that 34 million, more or less, give or take, black people died under King Leopold in the Congo, in Belgium Congo. So why is Hitler more famous, white people in Europe, than the other white man from Belgium that killed 34 people that weren't in Europe but that were in Africa? Why? Because it's racism. Because white people value white lives more than they value lives of indigenous people or of people that came from Africa. It's a plain, simple fact. In other words, what African nation are white people sending money to help them fight off people that are bothering them? None. But you got World War I, World War II, you got Ukraine and Russia sending all kinds of money to these people. But the Israelites that are in Africa that are being displaced, all right, whether you're talking about Biafra, okay, or whether you're talking about the Beta Israel, or whether you're talking about ethnic cleansing that was done in Rwanda between the Hutus, right, and what's it, the Tutsis, right? No, in U.S. intervention. It's almost like it's a laissez-faire policy when it comes to brown-skinned people. So the point I'm making is that white people, not my opinion, but statistically speaking, they value the lives of white people more than they would ever value any brown person's life. That's why Yahweh is going to have to do killing in America upon the descendants of the people that raped, robbed, and murdered those of us that were in the Americas and those of us that got brought into the Americas, because there's been no reckoning of the atrocities that were done to us. And that's the only thing that got Pharaoh's attention. And if America is compared to ancient Egypt, then there's going to have to be death to cause Yahweh to get the attention of the modern day Egyptians, which are the Americans, and the modern day Pharaoh, which would be the president. All right, go ahead. Call your verse.
Verse 31.
Verse 31.
And Pharaoh summoned Moses
Pharaoh called Moses
and Aaron
during
during the
He
night.
called him at night and said, what?
Arise,
Mm-hmm.
go out from my people.
Get out from my people. Get out, get out. Go ahead. Blue cheese. Read.
Both you and the sons.
Anybody wonder why I said that? There was a song called by UMC's. It's called Blue Cheese, and they had one of the hooks was like in the song was like, get out, I don't love you, get out, just so you, in case you're wondering. So he says, get out. I don't love y'all. We don't got no love for y'all. Leave. All right, read.
both you and the sons of Israel.
You and the sons of Israel, get out. Read.
Go, serve
Yahweh,
your Elohim,
your Elohim.
according as you say.
Do whatever you say you want to do. Go ahead.
Take both your sheep and cattle, and get going, but bless me too.
But bless me too. So they don't want to mess with them because now they've seen the power of Yahweh. They're like, get out and go. But give me a blessing for you. Imagine that. Imagine you in somebody responsible in the indirect way for the firstborn of everybody dying in your country, and you ask them to give you a blessing. You gotta be awfully mad and afraid at the same time. Get out! Can you bless me before you go? Why? Because now you see the power of Yahweh. I read.
And the Egyptians were forcing the people to throw them out of the land.
Hey, go, get out, man. Yeah, go. Go ahead.
For they said, we are all dying.
We're dying. Because they didn't know if that was the end of it or not. So they said, yo, give them what they want. All right, go ahead.
Now the people took the dough before it was leavened.
The dough was not leavened. Go ahead.
Their kneaded mixtures wrapped in their clothes on their shoulders. And the sons of Israel did as Moses instructed them.
Right.
And asked from the Egyptians.
So now this is the nighttime. This is nighttime on the 15th day. Go ahead.
And asked from the Egyptians silver and gold articles.
They said, give us silver and gold.
And clothing. And Yahweh gave favor to his people.
Gave favor in the midst of death and destruction. We're still getting favor. Go ahead.
Before the Egyptians, and they supplied them, and they plundered the Egyptians.
They supplied us, and we plundered them. Oh, here, take that. Nah, I want this. Here, y'all going on a long trip. We saw you just go. Man, that's a nice turban you got right there. What is that? That's that Moabite silk, ain't it? Let me have that. Break yourself.
Housed.
Break yourself. All right, go ahead.
Now the sons of Israel
Sons of Israel did what?
marched from Ramses
We marched from Ramesses
to Sukkotha.
to Succoth. Go ahead.
The men were about 600,000 foot soldiers.
At that time, that land was called Zoan. Go ahead.
Apart from the chattels.
So it was only what? 600,000 men, soldiers. Apart from the chattel, which is all the animals and stuff. Go ahead.
And a great mixed crowd
A great mixed crowd.
went up with them.
A great mixed crowd went up with them. So if you have them, who is this mixed crowd going up with them? That's an assortment of the different nations that say, you know what? I'm gonna go in my house and stay in here. You got some more blood, bro? And put the same ones that, you know what? I see what's going on. I need to go get my sheep and bring my sheep in and get my workers out the field because the God of Israel ain't playing no games. And because the Most High ain't killing people like he used to, everybody's like, oh, he ain't real. We ain't gonna believe in him. Why he do this? I don't like how he did that. I don't really appreciate your policy toward the firstborn that you exercised in the land of Egypt in 1446. People still mad at the Most High for something that happened over 3,500 years ago. He's the Most High. How you mad at him? You mad at him? That's like ants come in your house. Well, we're not gonna use no metaphors or similes. But the Most High does what he wants to do. Read that part again.
And a great mixed crowd.
A great mixed crowd, which means that different nations. A great mixed crowd was what?
Went up with them.
Went up with them. It doesn't say they were the mixed crowd. These are people of different nations, different ethnicities, different linguistic and forefather backgrounds than we are. And when they were with us at the mountain when the Most High entered into covenant with us, and they were under that covenant, under and through us. Not on their own accord, but under and through the sons of Israel. So as long as they stay in order with the sons of Israel, they straight. So the Gentiles can't just pop up and be like, I'm going to do what I want to do, X, Y, Z. No, they got to be under the covenant that was made with the children of Israel through us. The first covenant was made through us, and according to Hebrews chapter 8 and Jeremiah chapter 31, the second covenant is going to be made to us also. And that's when we see in Isaiah chapter 14 when it says people are going to be cleaving unto us, but everybody that had us in captivity and slavery is going to go in captivity and slavery. Read.
And sheep and oxen,
Uh-huh.
even a great many animals.
A great many animals, God.
And they baked the dough
They baked the dough
that they brought from
that
Egypt,
they brought from Egypt,
unleavened bread,
unleavened bread,
baked in ashes.
baked in ashes. Now, what does that mean? That means they had hot ember coals, and they took. Now, if you've seen people, have y'all seen videos of people baking bread like this? You take the bread and you roll it out, and you just put it right on the ashes. You kind of hold it over, then you can set it on the ashes. Then when it comes off, you just kind of dust it off. All right? You kind of dust it off. So it wasn't no, oh, we're gonna roll it and let it sit in. Okay, now get my rolling pin. Okay, what's the temperature? Let me get my thermometer. No, it was like crude bread. This is crude bread. All right? It was crude bread made on ashes. Okay? So this is what, matter of fact, we don't necessarily make bread with ashes, but you can. The ashes going to, again, it could have been hot ashes, but most likely it was like the hot ashes when the coals start to get like between brown and gray. Hot enough for you to cook on it, okay? It's probably too much, I don't know if it's wind. Is the wind coming in right there for you? All right, go ahead.
For it was not leavened.
It was not leavened. So this is how they did the leavened bread. Go ahead.
For the Egyptians had thrown.
If you
thrown
push
them
that
out.
glass too hard, it's gonna crack that window.
Okay.
It can't close all the way.
All right.
Now go ahead.
For the Egyptians had thrown them out,
The Egyptians had thrown them out. Go ahead.
and they were unable
They were unable
to remain,
nor
nor did they make provisions for themselves
did they make provisions for themselves
for the journey.
for the journey. They weren't ready for that journey. Thank you, Maria, for such beautiful and wonderful and descriptive and emphatic reading that you gave us. You are a true asset to your nation when it comes to your oratory delivery. We appreciate you. If there was an award, I would give it to you, but I don't got one. Okay, thank you. Okay, now it's done. Verse 40 to verse 50. All right. Now with Zayatan, he reads from his gut. And when he reads, it sounds like a lion that's about to attack you, roaring, and it makes your bones shake. You might have to go to the chiropractor when you finish reading, because your bones may get shifted off of out of your sockets and your tendons. He reads loud, he reads strong, and he takes deep breaths when he reads and lets them words come out. And you may want to plug your ears before he starts off and just slowly take them out. All right, go ahead, Zayatan, verse 10.
Now the residence of the sons of
Now the residence, which means the dwelling in. All right, the sojourning of the who?
of the sons of Yasha'al,
Of the sons of Yasha'Allah, go ahead.
during which
Go ahead.
they dwelt in the land of Egypt,
They dwelt in the land of Egypt, go ahead.
and in the land of Canaan,
And in the land of Canaan from Abraham, when we can see Galatians chapter 3, verse 17 covers this same time period with the same number of years. You can look now if you want to. Galatians 3:17. You can start from 16, go all the way down. Go ahead.
was 430
Was 400, go ahead.
years.
430 years. The Masoretic text puts 430 years only in Egypt. That is inaccurate. This older Bible, which is the New English translation of the Septuagint, is a book that was put together before the Septuagint. It goes back at least before the Masoretic text. It goes at least to the 4th century AD. 350 to be exact. All right, 350 to be exact. And then before that, it was based on, in the Torah, the part that we are reading, it was a transmission that started in 286 BC from Ptolemy Philadelphus in the land of Egypt, having the Israelite scribes and Levites translate the Torah from the Hebrew into the Greek. So it says 430 years was total from Abraham going into Canaan until Moses bringing us out. Read.
And it happened after 430
It
years
happened after 430 years.
that all the hosts of Yahweh
All the hosts of Yahweh, go ahead,
went out from the land of Egypt.
left out of the land of Egypt. He making me talk louder so I could be louder than him. Go ahead.
During the night.
During the what?
During the night.
In the daytime.
The night.
And what day was it? The 15th day, right? So how did they count the 15th day before the sun came up? They took the lamb on the 14th day. Then they killed it toward the evening. And they left at midnight during the what?
The night.
At nighttime, they left during the night. But how is it the 15th day now? Because the day started at night. The day didn't start in the morning. And that's why when I hear people going over this foolish doctrine about the sunrise Sabbath, I know for a fact they do not read the basic English in the Bible of the Torah, thinking about their doctrine. Because if you do, you'll see, oh, they left on the 15th day. Oh, it was nighttime. Oh, that must mean that the 15th day started at night. Because when the sun was coming up, that's when they saw the trouble was coming near them. All right, read.
It is a vigil for Yahweh.
It is a vigil, meaning a night to be watched. Go ahead.
So that he might bring them out of the land of Egypt.
So that's why they had their staff, and that's why they had their sandals on, and that's why they had their loins girded, meaning that their garment was in their girdle. That's what it means. Have your loins girded. So your garment was lifted up and put into your girdle. Go ahead.
That night is this vigil for Yahweh, so that it might be for all the sons of Yashala throughout their generations.
Go ahead.
Then Yahweh spoke to Moshe and Aharon,
Yahweh spoke to Moshe and Aaron. Go ahead.
saying, "This is the law of the Pascha."
Of the what?
The Pascha.
What is the Pascha? What is the Pesach? This is the lamb that was killed as a sacrifice. We good? Go ahead.
No alien shall eat of it.
No alien, no foreign person can eat of it. Go ahead.
Every domestic of anyone,
Every worker of anyone, go ahead,
or purchased slave,
or somebody that you bought, that you own, go ahead,
you shall circumcise him,
circumcise him.
and then he shall eat of it.
So anybody that's circumcised, that's a stranger among you, or that is a slave that you own, all right, can eat of it. Can eat the Passover. Sacrifice. Read.
A resident alien or hired person shall not eat of it.
Go ahead.
In one house it shall be eaten,
Go ahead.
and thou shalt not take any of the meat outside of the house, but you shall not break a bone of it.
Now, let me pause for a minute. Now, y'all know y'all not doing this.
You ain't got a big
Yeah.
enough pot.
Y'all know y'all not doing this. Who's on 20 now? Oh, we good. Y'all know y'all not doing this. Y'all not doing these things. You're not staying in your house and not going out. You ain't putting no blood on your lentils. I can understand you want to do other aspects of it, but it's not obligatory. Certain things are not obligatory. They're optional. I can burn the bones if I want to. It's not obligatory because it's not a sacrifice. I mean, you got people partaking of it that don't even believe in the God of Israel, don't even keep the Sabbath. You moving into some dangerous 1 Corinthians chapter 11 territory. 1 Corinthians chapter 10 territory. All right, go ahead.
The entire congregation of the sons of Yashala shall do this.
So everybody was in their own houses doing this with the lamb. Okay? Because the Most High was bringing death. They couldn't go out. All right? All right, go ahead.
But if any guest should draw near to you to keep the Pascha, to Yahweh, you shall circumcise every male of his, and then he shall draw near to keep it, and he shall be like a native of
And Yahweh is funny because we never really even had a chance to do this. After that first Passover, we really didn't even get a chance to keep the Passover this way in our own homes. Why? Because the Most High said, Yahweh said, hey, this is going to be a what? A holy convocation. I want everybody to leave their own home and make a pilgrimage to Jerusalem once a year. We see it in Leviticus 23, we see it in Exodus 34, Exodus chapter 34, and we see it in Deuteronomy chapter 16. All right? And I think I talk fast sometimes because when I talk fast and think faster better, I can get the words out. But when I slow down, then I start kind of fumbling over my words faster. All right? But you see it in those 3 chapters, you can go and see that, oh, get together, make a pilgrimage. Everybody get together. This is a convocation. But you don't see that here. So what is the contextual or the textual reason and rationale? We don't know. All right? We don't know. Go ahead.
No uncircumcised person shall eat of it.
No uncircumcised person shall eat of it. Go ahead.
There shall be one law for the local
One
inhabitants.
law for the local inhabitants. That means the Israelites. Go ahead.
And for the guest among you.
For the guest among you. Go ahead.
Who is drawn near.
Who is drawn near. That's the person that's come near to keep the children of Israel's statutes and laws. That person is called what? A proselyte. If you look that up in the Greek, it's probably going to say proselyte. All right, go ahead.
And the sons of Yashala.
The sons of Yashala did what?
Did just as Yahweh commanded.
They did what Yahweh commanded. Go ahead.
Moshe and Aaron.
Mm-hmm.
For them, so they did.
Right.
And it happened on that day.
On that day,
Yahweh brought the sons of Yashala.
Yahweh brought the sons of Yashala
Out of the land of Egypt.
out of the land of Egypt
Together with their host.
together with their host. That means everybody came out together. That's what that means. Okay? Everybody came out together. All right? So on that 15th day of Abib, we all came out together. All right? So can somebody give me a time check, please?
Time check. 7:57.
All right, -1.
No, I don't.
Okay. All right, so that's what we got for right now. We could go into more, but we're not going to go into any more right now. This is the first day. But now we're into the second day now. You know, so we're gonna stop and give we're gonna eat our unleavened bread, all right, and drink our wine and I think a third cup of lentils, right? We had a third cup of lentils in the mix and 2 cups of grits, all right, and a cup and a half of egg whites, all right. Any questions, concerns, or comments that need to be addressed on them real quick? Can somebody check that and see before we end our engagement now? Questions or comments on them? You might have to tap it and pull it up and stuff. I know. Shalom, 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 shalom to everybody. All right. Shalom to everybody.
Masha says, beautiful lesson.
Oh, shalom to water, Masha. All praise to Yahweh. And no doubt. No doubt. All praise to the Most High. Now we may be on here later on, depending, because it's just, man, it's so difficult to set all this up. But we may be on here later on, everybody. We'll see. But we're probably gonna try to get to bed a little earlier tonight, just so everybody can get rest. Because some people, you know, the hours and the energy we put into yesterday took a toll on some people's bodies, so they may need to do, you know, get a little bit more rest today. But that concludes where we are now. Tomorrow afternoon we'll come in and do the readings for the tomorrow we'll come in and do the readings for the second day. We'll make sure we get that knocked out. And may the Most High bless and protect everybody on this day. All right, and everybody, if you got this book, you can use this book, you know, for your prayers and for your your readings for each of the days.
He asked if there's any proof of plagues in Egypt.
Hmm?
Any proof of plagues in
Yeah, there's a lot of proof of the plagues in Egypt. You can investigate it. What is that one website, Nathaniel?
Hold up.
It's something Discovery or
Wait a
Egypt,
minute.
Exodus or something like that, right?
Yeah, hold up. Slovakia.
I think it's is it Secrets of Exodus or something, or
Nah, ancientexodus.com.
ancientexodus.com. Check that out. They got all the information there. ancientexodus.com. All right. Now, if somebody want to believe it and they see that, they'll believe it even more. If somebody don't want to believe it and they believe that, they got to ask another question, follow-up question. What about this? Case in point, the whole crescent new moon thing. I got a
Right.
scripture that says, oh, yeah, here's a scripture right here that says the new moon is covered. Is the Hebrew word, here's the etymology of the word, here's the evidence that they changed the etymology later on to make you think that it meant something else. But this is where it tells you that the new moon is covered. And somebody said, well, brother, do you got 2 or 3 witnesses of that? Or is it only that sole one? I said, well, this one is enough. You don't got none saying that the new moon is any crescent.
Nah.
So why would you follow a doctrine where you got no scriptural insinuations even that the new moon is a crescent, but you want evidence, more evidence of the new moon being black, and you got a piece of evidence right there. So you got a doctrine based on one strong piece of evidence, but there's other references, but that's the strongest one. Then you got another doctrine that ain't based on no evidence, no scripture in the Bible whatsoever. So why would I need evidence before I change over to the one that I got one piece of evidence for? You know what I'm saying?
Right. And that's not even.
It's like taking a blood test and say, this man ain't your father. But taking a blood test and say, this man is really your father. And you saying, well, I don't know, I'm going to call him daddy until I get more evidence. You got the blood test right there. That's the probably best available evidence you got right there. You
And then
know,
the whole-
they're indisputable. Not no trick, to it, but indisputable. You know, so this other man and your father got no DNA in common. But this man's son, you and your son and this man all have the same DNA, Y chromosomes in common. Oh, well, I'm gonna need more evidence then. I need more than just DNA. Nah. The evidence is on, what was it again? ancientexodus.com.
Con.
ancientexodus.com. Anything else?
Yeah, I was gonna say, and then when you look in other religions, they practicing the crescent moon as paganism. In Hinduism and Islam.
Come. Man, you don't, hey, but you know what? We don't, man.
What? Right.
We could literally talk about the fallacies and the foolishness of the crescent moon, from now until, tomorrow evening.
Right.
For the next 24, literally, for the next 24 hours. Take a break, get up, and start talking about it again. Go ahead,
Just said, count the water, family, love you all.
Come. Love you too. All right, so, all the evidence is here. So Egypt, coming out of Egypt, the Most High Yahweh brought us out on the 15th of Abib, and our people are still supposed to be observing this day. Just because you call you have to start, just because you call yourself a Christian or a Muslim or a Hindu does not excuse you from keeping the ordinances that were delivered to you from Yahweh, that were given to you to be observed forever. And once you start to observe them, you must abandon all of the pagan practices of these religions that you're following if they don't line up with the Bible. For example, hey, you want to get together on Sunday and sing and you want to dance and you want to have a service and you want to study the Bible, that's beautiful. Paul did the same thing when you read in the quote-unquote New Testament. But what Paul also did was get together with the Israelites at the synagogue when?
On the Shabbat.
On the Sabbath day. Hamashiach went to the synagogue when?
Shabbat.
On the Sabbath day. So you have the Israelites going to these Sabbath services and the Messiah and his disciples and his apostles observing the Sabbath, and you want to say, I'm gonna just do Sunday. I don't got Sabbath no more. Why? Because the Catholic Church taught you that. Justin Martyr taught you that. Eusebius taught you that. All right.
Or you wanna work on the Shabbat.
All of these other religions, all these other religious leaders taught you to discard the observance of the Sabbath. Why? There's no biblical evidence in the whole Genesis to Revelation. Nothing in there. It says you don't got to keep the Sabbath anymore. So anyway, that's going to conclude our meeting about the Sabbath. That's going to conclude the information. You know, when you read inside of a synagogue setting in ancient Israel, the reader would stand oftentimes, but once the explanation started to come forth, then the person would sit that was explaining the scriptures, all right, from a seated position. And that's where you get the term that they sit in Moses' seat, which means what? They give you the explanation of the law. They give you the explanation of, you know, what's being stated. That's why in a court you got the person standing, and then you have the judge sitting. Everybody's sitting, but you got the person standing before the judge, all right, with his peers to his back. And then the judge is sitting up, listening to what he said. So, I mean, this is it, Exodus chapter 12. And then we're supposed to read yesterday, chapter 1 and 2 of Exodus, and then today, which is the second day, read chapters 3 and 4. And it's all going to be inside of your, this is the one from last year. We didn't put another one on there for this year, but this is the one from 2024. Would have been easy just to go on and put a 5 on it and, you know, and reprint it, but why? You know what I mean? This is good enough, you know, maybe just take that off. But this is a guide for keeping Passover, you know, how to keep it. Just gives you a basic structure, almost like a Siddur, of how to keep it and what to do. And it has images in here, you know, it has pictures of different groups of Israelites from around the world celebrating and keeping feast days, all right? Has art of black people from artists in Greece, in Russia, from the 13th, 14th, 16th century, all right, showing the Messiah, showing his disciples as being brown-skinned people, all right, which is historically accurate. So you black people in the Americas, and I'm mainly talking to you because I'm you, I'm from you, I've been around you, I lived around you, you my blood family, you know, and I can rock with you easier than I can connect with anybody else that's Native American or even Latino or Hispanic, because that's not my historical experience. That's not my life experience. All right? So you are the children of Israel, specifically the tribe of Judah. And you got to come back to your position in covenant with Yahweh and come back to the Torah. And put away all the different religious denominations that you've taken, you know, inside to practice them. You got to stop disrespecting the God of Israel, and you got to stop disrespecting Christ, Hamashiach. All right? A lot of you grew up in the churches, and then you got so mad at the lies that the churches taught you that you started disrespecting Christ and saying, it wasn't real, he don't exist. But you never really examined it from a historical perspective. You only examine it from the perspective of, well, what about the New Testament, da 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 da. But you never, you can't disprove the first century record of Hamashiach fulfilling the things that were prophesied about him in the so-called Old Testament. You can't dispute that. As a matter of fact, nobody in the history of Jewish people that rejected Christ wrote anything to dispute the prophecy that they said he fulfilled until like 900 years later, in the 900s. First century, second, third century, nobody wrote nothing saying, well, he didn't fulfill this one, he's fake, this didn't happen. And don't you find that oddly strange, that omission is strange and curious, because there was too much evidence. There was too much historians saying he did live. People say he did fulfill these prophecies. And that's why they went in the Masoretic text and changed stuff. And that's why the Septuagint Bible, the Greek Bible, kept everything the same. Especially when you're dealing with the Vaticanus from the 4th century AD. Not dealing with the Masoretic text as the primary text, which didn't come about, if we're dealing with the Leningrad Codex, until the 11th century. So you got a Bible from the 4th century and a Bible from the 11th century. 700 years between the Bibles, one Greek and one Hebrew. How you gonna make the Hebrew, the superior text? So you haven't examined all of the different texts. And then this 4th century Bible has a chain of custody going back unto the 3rd century BC in 286 BC, when it was translated from the temple scriptures in Hebrew, what we would call the Vorlage, right? It was translated from the Hebrew Vorlage into Greek. And then from the Greek, they reverse engineered it, and they took different Hebrew fragments and created a new Old Testament in the Hebrew that sometimes agrees with and sometimes deliberately contradicts the older Greek Bible, because they tried to remove all of the prophecies about Hamashiach from the Psalms and from the prophets after 900 years had passed. And this is why we see the height of the Masoretic movement going into the 800s and from the 900s until the 1000s. We don't see it in the 3, 4, 5, 600s. What'd you say?
No, I said, and to disprove the timeline of him appearing.
To disprove the timeline, to remove 2,000 years out of the Old Testament, which is why the chronology of the Greek Bible, is mathematic. The chronology of the Masoretic Hebrew Bible is not mathematical. Now, we respect the Hebrew text only when it does not contradict the older Greek text. So this belief system and teaching that we're doing is not a game, it's not a joke. It's not about picking up the King James or picking up the NIV or even picking up the NRSV and that's it. We're gonna, whatever it says, that's what it is, because all the Bibles are different. But all the Bibles are using the common sources, ancient sources, to produce their Bibles. So why not just go back to the ancient sources that have been translated, even though, like right here, we got to have 2 different Bibles. Because this is the Old Testament, and this one has the New Testament accurately, and then some of the Septuagint, some of the Apocryphal books in this book are going to be more accurate than the ones in this book. And Amaria went through, and Amaria said, okay, yeah, these books right here, there's a list right here. This Bible's good for these books. New Testament, 1st, 2nd Ezra, Maccabees, Ezra itself, Joshua, and Nehemiah. And then this Bible right here, give me that right there. And in this Bible, which is the New English translation of the Septuagint, all right, Amaria went through and we got the notes on it. It's highlighted inside the book, but then it was written on an index card. Okay, this book, these books are most accurate in this Bible. You see? So it's not just about picking up a book and say, oh yeah, it's the word of the Lord. No, it all ain't. Some of it has been distorted and polluted, convoluted on purpose, deliberately. But through it all, right? Through it all, the faith of Hamashiach, the faith in Hamashiach, given to us through him from his father, Yahweh, has still persevered over 2,000 years without no funny business, all right? Without no funny business being able to discourage or dissuade us. And you got a textual chain of custody, chain of command. And you don't got that with Judaism. It just pops up with a big, with a grown Bible. Like, oh yeah, here it is. Or Islam. Oh yeah, it's Muhammad. 600 years when? From when? When we got the Bible coming from Adam. Why am I gonna go by the Quran from starting 500 AD when I got this Bible telling me in the beginning? And the Quran's all over the place, and Muhammad wasn't a real man.
Right.
Right? Mecca was never a real trading city. and the Quran was not revealed to him. None of them things exist within themselves. The Quran was fabricated in about 800, about the ninth, from about the 800 to 900, from about the 8th to 9th century A.D. Right, by Abu Bakr, and you can read the history on it. You can check out the history. You know what? Let me say this. Look at the coins from the early Islamic period. And that'll tell a whole story to you. Look at the coins from the early Islamic period, and I don't gotta open my mouth and say anything else. Look at the coins from the early Islamic period, and you'll see for yourself, the coins don't lie. All right? Don't look at the word, and the word Muhammad, which is a Hamad, is actually in the Bible in the Hebrew. All right? All right, so we're gonna finish. It's probably going to the 10 now, right? All right, so we finished, everybody. That's it. Pesach Shalom. All right. Have a peaceful Passover. Yahweh bless all of you in the name of Yeshua HaMashiach or Yahushua HaMashiach. All right, Shalom.